Here are the highlights from Hangtown 450 Moto 1. Well, the day started great for the Lawrence brothers. Jet and Hunter out front early.
Yeah, a carbon copy of last weekend. Both those guys out front. And the way Jet was in practice, he actually looked more comfortable this weekend than he did. And then he goes down this hill. And then again, I still think there must be something else because I just refuse that. The way he went down and tried jumping this triple, I mean, he came up way short. And for a moment, we were thinking he was out, hurt.
Yeah.
So he was able to get up. But what that did right there, that 5 seconds of chaos opened up the door for the rest of the day and this championship. But we were kind of dumbfounded when we were looking at him get up, and I was glad to see him, one, get up and then continue to ride and get back out. But the race was on.
Sexton took a while to get going. Then once he got there, he was up to Jason Anderson of the 21, doing well. Then a mistake from Sexton.
Yeah, and it looked like some of the same things that happened last weekend. Chase got close to guys, made a mistake, and there was Jason running in second, and then he went down, hit neutral, and goes down, but still able to get up and hold on to third place. But then Chase Sexton started finding his form, and then he went after Hunter Lawrence, who was out front, which we haven't really spoken about him, but he had a nice gap. But Chase Sexton was not to be denied in this moto and for the rest of the day.
Hunter did everything he could to fend him off. Would later say it was just a tough day at the office. And here's Sexton finishing off the pass for the lead.
Yeah, and once he got out front, you could tell like that confidence from him, being able to make that pass. The door was open, and we saw something brewing. We didn't think it was going to end up like it did, but Chase Sexton and KTM, nice for fighting in there, and he was able to win that first moto.
And that's the end of the Jet Lawrence 24 straight moto win streak. This is Jet coming across. He would finish and try to get to the points, but he didn't. He finished 24th, and they only pay back to 21st. We go to 450 Moto 2, Jet the bad gate pick, then nearly gets the whole shot, and then almost gets driven off the track.
Yeah, I thought that was actually Justin Cooper that almost got him, but it was actually Aaron Plessinger, it seems like, where Jet got really lucky. And then, yeah, we knew he was hurt, and Chase Sexton running about 6th, just spins out, gets up there and gets a loose and does a donut, and end up dead last after this.
So Aaron Plessinger battling with Cooper for the lead. Takes it over. Crowd absolutely loves it. Fan favorite. See Jet circulating close behind Phil Nicoletti at 4th.
Yeah, and I think if you're Aaron Plessinger, you just watch your teammate and Tom Vial go out there, so you probably felt pretty good that the bike was going to be good. And we saw Jet Lawrence behind. He started making his way up and got around Justin Cooper, and we thought that for a moment that he was able to try to run down Aaron Plessinger because he started getting some lap times, but then the body gave out, and then Chase Sexton started coming. This is the pass on Justin Barcia, just scrubs past him. I don't even know if Justin knew he was there, but Chase Sexton was there for a moment, and then he was gone. And then here's Justin
Sneaking
Cooper.
up on people. Yeah, Justin Cooper gets around Jet halfway through the moto. Jet started to lose pace.
Yeah, and at this moment, like, Chase was about 10 seconds down from these guys, and then you saw Jet starting to go. And this got close. You know Jet was hurt because he didn't really react to that. He could have got back in on Chase if he wanted to, but he was hurt. And then Chase Sexton went around Jason Anderson and just kept making his way up. The BOGO special right here. And then he was not to be denied, Jason.
Kept going. At one point, it was just a fight maybe for the podium overall, then maybe for the overall win, but then he wanted them all. The 1-1 sweep. This is the final lap against Plessinger for the lead.
Yeah, and this was a game of chicken. Who wants to let off? And you could tell, I mentioned earlier, Aaron Plessinger, it would have been hard for him to pick up the pace, and once he was in the rhythm, and Chase got past him, and we thought he was going to go, but that performance was last to 40th to first, and now you see the reaction.
Unbelievable. And KTM, who also got a clutch moto win in the 250 class with Tom Vial, has to be happy with 2 bikes on the podium today. It would be 1st and 3rd when you look at the results. Hunter does salvage 2-4 finishes, even though he didn't feel great today. Finished 2nd, and you will not see Jet Lawrence in the top 10 overall because he ended up 24-6 and hands over a bunch of points to Sexton. So KTM very happy today. Let's send it down to Jason Thomas.
Well, I have both of the KTM 450 boys here, and we'll start with AP. We talked to you a little bit there on the podium about that second moto. You led for so long. I think you led probably 99.9% of that race, and Chase, your teammate, got you there at the very end, but it had to be a confidence builder. You had a great first moto, an exceptional second moto here, and you're kind of picking up where you left off early in the Monster Energy Supercross Championship, race-winning caliber guy, and I think that's what you want to be.
Yeah, man, that's what this team deserves. Two guys that can battle up front and do what we just did. So, yeah, I'm proud that I could do that for them, and it was a really good moto. Got off to a really good start, and I just pushed as hard as I could, and then yeah, when I was just saying when Chase got by me in that corner, my calf cramped up and I stalled out for a second. But no, it was a good race. Congrats to him, and he's riding really good, and maybe next time we could just go 1-2, baby.
Fair enough. Thanks, Aaron. And Chase, I think this is a ride that's going to be talked about for a very long time. It felt like it was a long time coming, and the emotion that kind of poured out all at once. You know, you talked about a year and a half of pent-up frustration coming out all in one moto. How do you channel that and bring that each and every week? Because I think if you can, I think you can be champion in this class, but it's going to take that type of effort, your best self, to do it.
Definitely. Thursday went riding with the team, and we found something on the bike that I felt like it proved today when in the motos. I felt really comfortable, and to be able to go that fast for that long, you have to be comfortable with your bike. And man, I had some really good lines. This place, for some reason, I think Tomac, when he won here by a minute 40, this place, I think when you get comfortable, you can really put down some good laps and really just make a gap on the rest of the field. So for me, that was unreal. I haven't had a ride like that maybe ever, but I look forward to keeping those going. And yeah, it's a year and a half of not winning built up into one moto.
Great job. Well, you can see a lot of emotion down here. Really happy day for KTM in both classes. Yeah, back to you, James and Weege.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. And yeah, I think even Sexton having a tough time maybe finding the words to sum that up, last to first. And also the points lead for good measure. And as I mentioned on the broadcast when we first saw these points, I think the biggest story is that Jett Lawrence is in a 24-point hole now. Long way to go, but it's not the way you want to draw this up.
Yeah, I mean, Jett Lawrence is, one, he's healthy enough. We saw him race. Now, after a couple days, we don't know how that's going to injuries. He's got a lot of adrenaline, and you hear about guys that's racing and they're out. They find something's broken. So it was nice to see him out there. But yeah, he's in a gap as far as that. But what the guy that we just heard from, that's the probably bigger gap that he's in. And I think it's going to be important for Jett Lawrence, if he's healthy, to stop the momentum that Chase Sexton's got. And we witnessed it the way Supercross was. Jett Lawrence has been very aware of when Chase Sexton and the other guys start getting the momentum, he tries to stop that. Now he's going to be aware of this, and if they're starting to figure out their motorcycle, Chase believes that this year is different. And if that's the case, then we're going to have a great season.
And then further down the road, we will have the Super Motocross playoffs and World Championship. When we combine the Supercross and Motocross points together, Lawrence has a 20-point gap over Sexton, and Jason Anderson, who's been solid all year, would actually be third overall heading into the playoffs. Okay, so we're looking for some insight as to why Sexton was different today, and he hinted that they found something with the motorcycle there.
Yeah, I don't know if, I mean, I'm sure they found something, but I think Chase found confidence, really. I mean, because we were watching his motorcycle, the first moto, and even the second one. I mean, he had some moments. He had a bunch of moments, and one of the errors that he was struggling with last weekend, acceleration coming out of the corners, well, there's a flip side to that. Because it was slower there, it also helps him going down the hills, because it might not be as good exiting going down the hills, and that's where he was making his passes up today. So some of the things, it's give and take, but I think Chase Sexton really just found a form, and then when he saw what happened with Jett Lawrence, took him a few laps to realize halfway through that first moto, then you saw him starting to kick in effect, and I think that's what's rolled over, and then making all these passes that second moto, he just blacked out. And you're watching and you're looking at a guy that's probably the most confident that he's ever been throughout his whole career, over the Supercross championship, over his last team. Now we got to race, people. We got to race now.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts next weekend in Colorado.
Hi, folks. Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.